It's time to become the best version of yourself and help others do the same. It's Monday morning and we're talking success.
Hello, Soul family. Jordan Peterson coming at you live from our Soul Studios here today. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Today is May 20th, so we've got about 11 days left of the month, which is awesome. I hope you guys are accomplishing all the goals that you had. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope wherever you're at, the weather is better than it is here today. I thought it was going to be warm today, and I woke up and it was freezing cold when I went out to look at my garden to see how my plants were doing, and so we're wearing a sweatshirt today to keep us warm. And it's rainy today too here, so it's kind of crazy. I don't know what we got going on. But anyway, today is May 20th, as I mentioned before. If this is your first time joining us, make sure that you chime in so we can see that you are out there. If you're just watching and you haven't let us know where you're at or what you're doing, or just said hello, then we will not be able to get your name into the bucket of fun for a chance to win some fantastic prizes today. We love to hook you up with some swag. Swag, for those who don't know, is just awesome stuff with Soul's name on it, so you guys can share the love a little bit and show what we got going on. So, man, we got it's getting warm out there in most places except Utah today for whatever reason. So we want to make sure you guys are staying hydrated because that is such a key thing for health. And so look at this. Man, we got you covered. 4 different things we got going on today. We're going to draw 2 from those on live with us today and 2 from our SN sweeps, just to keep the ball rolling with that thing too. So we got you covered. We got you with 4 different things today. No, you cannot have my Cinemate mug, most requested thing ever. This is mine, but it is the sponsor of the show. So, and for those who don't know, Cinemate is so delicious and so good for you. So start your day with that. Throw out your energy drinks, throw out your coffee, throw out the gunk that you guys got going on. Start your day with Cinemate. You're going to be so much better off and feel so much better. As always, we love to recognize those who are bringing people into the Soul family and just giving them an opportunity to see what this is all about. And we do that in a little segment here we call Rock and Roll. We're going to jump into that now. Here we go. Starting out number 10, we got Savannah Young. At number 9, Chris Hedrick. We've got Corinne Lott coming in at number 8. We've got Anna Cano coming in at 7. At 6, Lourdes Lira Turabiartes. At 5, we've got Kristen Brunius. We've got Abigail Frederick coming in at 4. We got Betty Runkle at 3. At number 2, we got Esther Judy Del Rio. And number 1, none other than our 100K, Lydia Ferrentino. Congratulations, guys. We combined enrollments with trial packs to get us to these numbers. And man, it's just fun to see you guys continue to bring people into the Soul family. So well done, all you rock and rollers out there. We have a great testimonial that I wanted to show you guys. It's a long one, but we're gonna go through it because there's so many key things in there we're gonna talk about right afterwards. So here we go. It says this: I didn't think I needed Adaptable until I tried it. After all, before Soul, my issue was insomnia and what felt like migraine headaches that could last days. I remember spending days in bed in a dark room just to try to find relief. This was so stressful on my mind and body. It would trigger a sense of insecurity and hopelessness. Then I would start feeling better, but it was short-lived. I was in this constant cycle of feel good, feel bad, feel good, feel bad. I wanted to get off that roller coaster. I made changes in my diet, found reflexology, herbal supplements, essential oils, and other ways to address my health holistically. But something was still missing. Then the pandemic hit, and fear was everywhere, every day and night. Fear. I was home listening to Facebook Markets, where someone I did not know, Miss Tammy Peterson, kept talking about adaptogens. Her health journey sounded much worse than mine, so I jumped on board, became a Soul specialist, and I have a new normal where sleep comes easier and pain and hopelessness are no longer a constant in my life. Soul plus me equals free. Man, there's so many good things to be able to break down with this. And it really comes down to you guys as brand specialists and what you guys do. Now listen, there are a lot of people out there who are taking herbal supplements. We know that, right? People take their daily vitamins, people are taking probiotics, people are taking omegas, just trying to stay healthy. And a lot of them aren't achieving exactly what they're looking for. And why is that? Well, they're not adding in the right amounts of different things, or they're not taking the right things, right? And that's where Soul comes in so beautifully, is when we give our bodies the nutrition that it needs and gives it the power of adaptogenic herbs, all of a sudden the things that we thought were big issues start to disappear. We start sleeping better, we start feeling better, we become a new normal, as she mentioned, and we're just putting ourselves in a position to really thrive. And that's what we want to do. And the other thing I love about this, as you noticed, she was just cruising Facebook, trying to figure out what's going on. She's at home during the pandemic, doesn't have a ton going on. And what does she see? Somebody talking about soul, and realizing that maybe that could be the answer that she's looking for. So when you guys are talking to people, realize you have something that helps them, right? We have a tool that can help people help themselves and put themselves in a position to be, as she says, soul plus me equals free. And it puts you in such a better position to be healthy, right? And that's what's such a key thing about this. I love it. Which leads us to some more SN sweeps. That's why this is so important, and why we're talking about these things is because this gives people an opportunity to see what we're all about. We got some great additions this week, so we're gonna turn to those right now, and here we go. This is what's better than coffee? A Cinnamate latte. Let's go ahead and show that one more time, Tyler. That's a good one. It's on Instagram. Hope you guys can hear it. What's better than coffee? A Cinnamate latte. Beautiful, great music, great visual, the whole 9 yards, beautiful kitchen. So easy to share that and get good things going on with it. We also have another one coming from Chris Hedrick over in Kansas. It says, in the morning on the go, showing her in her car, making herself a Cinnamate. I get excited when you ask me, does that really work? My response every time, why, yes, it really works. I know what I'm drinking and how it's benefiting my emotional state. She got a big old mug, so she's throwing in 2 packets there. I love it. That's the way I roll as well. Such a cool way to do it. How can I help you get started? Throws in her straw and off she goes, right? When I was tired of crashing because of sugary energy drinks that will tank my adrenals, I chose the product that would best suit my physical and emotional state. Something that works as hard as I do. Man, oh man, the fact it tastes good too is a bonus for sure, right? And that's what we're seeing right now. I think there's a huge need for Cinnamate in the world. I know it's one of my favorites, and I know I talk about it a lot, but when I was out this morning watering my garden and just checking on my plants and doing all that stuff I like to do when I wake up in the morning, and I'm watching some kids walk to school, and the number of them walking with an energy drink in their hand was a little bit surprising to me. Just because the area we live in, usually they're not as big into that stuff, I feel. And by golly, it was like every third kid was packing an energy drink. Now, can you imagine what it's doing to their adrenals at this age as they're trying to develop and grow and move forward in life? I think in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a huge need for people to get back onto some healthy stuff in order to help them put themselves in a position to just thrive and to be better, right? It's such a crazy thing they're going on. All righty. We got SN sweeps covered. We got a great testimonial. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I did this weekend, starting off with this picture right here. This is my lovely wife. You can see her rocking the soul hat. She's holding up a sign for those who are just listening right now. It's a wooden board that has trail ends carved into it, and you can kind of see the beautiful background there of Moab, Utah. This is in a place called Fisher Towers. You can see the towers kind of over her left shoulder there. And it was just beautiful. And we had a great opportunity to do some hikes down there this weekend. We had kind of a late anniversary trip. We're celebrating 18 years of marriage, but as you know, with 6 kids, it can get crazy. And so we had to postpone this about a week in order to get out there and just enjoy the time together. Now, while we were on this hike, it was really interesting. We passed quite a few people that were out there and just trying to enjoy it. One couple was from Florida, came all the way up from Florida to see this. Another couple came up from Alabama. And so people are coming from all over the place to come and see this beautiful sights. And it reminded me of something that was really interesting. Right now, when I go on my social media feed, it feels like everybody is talking about vitamin D3. That's a huge thing right now. People are talking about the benefits of it, everything from immune health to sleep to mood balancing, all those things. And what you're seeing in the world right now, we're coming into the spring, right? Spring and summer is here. We're excited because that's called the sunshine vitamin. Everybody's going to be getting this. And then what do we do when we go outside? Oftentimes we cover up and then we throw on a whole bunch of sunblock to make sure we don't get cooked. And what does that do to vitamin D3, right? Is our body able to make it as well? Well, it's not. It's not. We know that. Now, most people don't put on enough sunblock to completely keep vitamin D3 from being created, but we know that it's being hindered a little bit. And so we're kind of caught in a little bit of an interesting spot. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about vitamin D3. We know we have our longevity, which is just such an amazing product for that, and it just puts us in such a healthy spot. The thing that's interesting is we put ourselves in a unique spot here at Soul in staying with plant-based nutrition. And vitamin D3 usually comes from what? For those of you who are out there live with us in YouTube, where do most people source vitamin D3 from? And we're going to talk a little bit about where it normally comes from. We're going to talk about where we get it from, and then how it can help us before we talk about some business thoughts that can go along with this, right? Satinka says pressed lamb's wool, right? Yep, Liddy says yuck, from sheep wool, right? And that's where it comes from. It says it might surprise you that the common source from vitamin D3 is lanolin, which is a substance derived from sheep's wool. So how do they get it from the sheep's wool? We're not out there just sucking on sheep's wool in order to get it, right? It says lanolin, a waxy substance found in sheep's wool. That picture right there of just is like a waxy substance found in sheep's wool. That's yummy. Serves as a raw material for synthesizing vitamin D3. The process begins when collecting lanolin from freshly shorn sheep, where it acts as a protective barrier for their skin and coats. If you want to have a fun ad lib or tongue twister, start saying freshly shorn sheep 10 times fast. Once harvested, lanolin undergoes a series of chemical reactions to transform it into the precursor vitamin D3. Right? It does not end with the lanolin extraction, though. To convert the precursor into active and vitamin D3, sunlight plays a crucial role. Exposure to ultraviolet B rays or UVB rays triggers the final conversion process, mimicking the natural mechanism by which humans and animals synthesize vitamin D3 in their skin. Right? So that's usually how people are getting this vitamin D3. And if you have a choice between no vitamin D3 or vitamin D3 from a waxy substance from sheep's wool, I would say go for it, right? Go for it. But we know we got something better, right? And that is from the reindeer lichen that we get. Super sustainable, great source of vitamin D3. It's natural. There's no waxy substances coming out of that thing, and it just puts us in a great spot. And so what are the advantages then of having it, right? Of getting this sunshine vitamin from this great reindeer lichen. Number one, bone health. It aids in calcium absorption, promoting strong bones and reducing the risk of osteoporosis. We also have immune support. Vitamin D3 helps the body defend against infections and illnesses. It was one of those key things that during the pandemic we recently had that people were talking about, God, we got to get more of this, right? And it was so interesting because all of the people were talking about, in order to stay safe, stay indoors. Stay indoors, stay away from people, stay indoors. Heaven's sakes, do not go to the beach. Do not go outside. You might contract it. Where really, if you were thinking about that, that's terrible advice, right? We got to get the vitamin D in order to put us in a great spot. Mood regulation as well. Studies suggest that vitamin D3 plays a role in regulating mood and combating symptoms of depression, right? And heart health as well. Adequate vitamin D3 levels are linked to lower risk of heart disease and improved cardiovascular health. Man, thank goodness we've got longevity is all I'm saying. And I'll tell you what, I love spending time in the sun. I'm not a huge sunblock guy myself. Usually I can get a nice crisp in the beginning of spring, get that red neck and red arms going on. And then after that, I tan nicely and I'm usually pretty good from there on out. So I love getting my vitamin D outside, doing yard work and just spending time out in the sun. So, but even then, I still love taking my longevity every day just to put myself in a great position. So that's a great opportunity to add that. Make sure you're adding that in there and doing well, even during the hot summer when you might be like, I think I'm getting enough. Are you? Maybe you are. But if not, let's give it a shot. Let's transition now. If we're going to talk about my wife a little bit more today. We already showed a picture of her. We're going to talk about something that she loves more than probably me, and that is a clean kitchen. My wife, we have a wood floor in our kitchen, and there is nothing that drives her crazy more than little crumbs or little pieces of dirt that she can feel in her bare feet while she's walking around our house. And so if you've ever been to our house, you know that we vacuum the kitchen like, I don't know, 10 times a day probably. It seems like anytime anybody walks through, we got to vacuum it and clean it up a little bit. There's a no shoe rule in my house, just because we don't want to track in all the gunk from outside, especially when you've got chickens and bunnies and different things the kids are running around with. Last thing you want to do is track that through your house. And so we vacuum our house all the time. And once we got our little vacuum cleaner, it's a Dyson cordless vac. Man, it changed my wife's life. She loves that thing. She uses that seriously 10 times a day. We've gone through multiple versions of it in our household because we wear them out after using it as often as we do. And that made me think of our good friend, Mr. James Dyson, since I use his product literally multiple times a day. And it's such an interesting thing what he went through. As of right now, his net worth is worth about $13.4 billion. And his company employs about 14,000 people. He's based out of the UK. When you think of Dyson, you usually think of vacuum cleaners. His big thing was he wanted to come up with a bagless vacuum cleaner, but that had enough suck in order to actually perform well, right? And so I don't know how many of you have used Dysons before, but they're actually pretty good. But when he was trying to figure this thing out, it took him about 15 years to finally get his prototype up and working correctly. He went through almost all of his savings to get this thing figured out. And if you had to guess, 15 years, all right? 15 years, how many failed prototypes did he go through before he found the right one, right? You've heard of Thomas Edison when he was trying to invent the light bulb. He went through thousands and thousands of iterations, right? And he says, what I found out was, there's 10,000 different ways not to make a light bulb, is what I found. So James Dyson, 15 years, how many iterations do you think he went through until he finally figured out the correct prototype to make it work, right? Nicole says 500, we got over 5,000, 900, 100, right? Terry says, I'm a crafter. You go through so many prototypes to get it right. Yep. And Tiffany R., you absolutely are correct. Looks like you are Googling it, either that or you are a genius. But it's 5,126 attempts. He didn't get it right until his 5,127th attempt to make this work. And then it worked. And then from there, what happened? He's a multi-billionaire, has a great company, doing great things. There are those of you out there right now who have been trying Soul for a while, trying to talk to people, get your business off the ground, been spending time on it. None of you have been in it 15 years because Soul isn't even that old. And maybe it feels like you've tried over 5,000 times and, God, you're just not quite where you want to be. I'm telling you, there's a quote that I love. It says, if you look really closely, most overnight successes took a really long time. And I think that's where we're kind of in the middle of that with some of our journeys right now in order to make this work. All of a sudden it's going to click and we're going to be in a great position, and then everybody be like, oh, well, gee, yeah, of course it happened. That was so easy. It happened overnight for him, right? And then we all can smile and think to ourselves, nah, well, sure, yeah, overnight success, you bet. I want you to, for those who are on with me right now, get your fingers ready, okay? Get your fingers ready. I want you to see if you can finish this quote. It says this: the best way to predict the future is to blank. The best way to predict the future is to blank. There's actually two blanks, blank, blank. Okay, this is a quote by Abraham Lincoln. There's going to be some of you who are going to go out and Google it and figure it out, right? Others can guess it. Look at there. Look at all you guys. You must like quotes as much as I do, right? The best way to predict the future is to create it, is what Abraham Lincoln said. And I think that's absolutely true with what we're looking at right now. You want to change your lives? Well, go ahead and change them. What are we going to do? Sit around and wait for it to happen? It's never going to happen that way. And it may take 5,127 times before we finally get it right. But by golly, I think if you asked James Dyson today if it was worth the 15 years of heartache and struggle, he'd absolutely agree that it was, right? And so that's where we're all at. Let's put ourselves in a position to continue to grow and put ourselves in a position to achieve those goals that we have wanted to achieve. Sound good? All right, guys. Let's get you out of here with some swag. First off, we're going to start with our... Let's get these out in front again so we can show you. Oh, I better move that one back just so we don't get any ideas about you guys wanting to take that with you. All right, here we go. We're gonna start our first two over here. We're gonna start with our SN sweeps. Make sure you are contributing there. Guys, there's a ton in here. I'm telling you, if it was me, I'd make sure I was posting at least every day and tagging it in SN sweeps just to make sure I had a great chance at winning. And hopefully today we even have somebody who wins twice. Who knows? We're gonna find out, right? Here we go. Every time you guys submit an SN sweeps, you put your name in. So there's a chance you could win multiple times. And here we go. The first winner of this right here is Chris Hedrick. Chris Hedrick, you got yourself this fantastic tumbler there. We got the next one coming up here. Here we go. Lydia says, anything we have to do to get where we are is worth it. I love that. It's a great one. You should put some quotes around that and put it on the internet, Lydia. I love it. The next winner is Maria Balderas. Maria Balderas, you got yourself one as well. Gonna put those to the side for now. We're gonna get some of you on who spent time with us today on live. Make sure we take care of you. And here we go. We've got Yalin Belzanos. If that's spelled correctly, Yalin, Y-A-L-I-N. And I can't quite read the last name, but hopefully you are on there. Oh, Betanzos. There we go. Betanzos. You got yourself this fantastic 40-ouncer. I mean, I'll tell you what, you throw a couple things of Soul Vital in there, maybe Soul Excel, get a little Excital going on, and you got yourself something going on. All right, here we go. And the last but not least, this one is fantastic for all the things we're doing as well. And we've got Tanya Johnson. Tanya down in Texas, got you covered as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for participating and being a part of this. For SN Sweeps this week, we've got double entries for all those that post about Excel. Now, if you don't know what Excel has got going on, you need to try it because it is fantastic. I love it as like a pre-workout or even a post-workout. It's loaded with just so many good things to give you energy and to help your body rebuild, amino acids, and just things that help with your hormone balance as well. So everybody who hashtags SN Sweeps is talking about Excel. You get double entries this week into our bucket of fun and make sure that you get taken care of. Sound good? All right, guys. And also, as a reminder, get your vitamin D in you. Longevity, man, it's a way to go. All right? I love you guys. Keep sharing soul, and we'll see you again next week.